Hi and welcome back to my channel. As you can see today I've got a guest with me, a friend of mine, Junior. And there's a little twist to it because you'll hear a voice but not see a face. Yes, we've got a third guest that's off camera today. And well, what we'll be talking about is just popular culture, modern day society, and just the differences with, the 90s, which is the generation we come from, to the 2000 generations. And of course, if you do like the video, ensure to like, put the thumbs up, and share the video as well. So, social media is going to be the first thing we'll tackle, and we'll jump right into it. So, how do you feel social media has changed the ball game in terms of how we grew up, and in terms of how, how children are?
It's funny because somebody who grew up in our generation will say something completely different to the younger ones.
Okay.
The younger ones will be more some, oh my goodness, it's the greatest thing ever. We'll be like, ugh. Really, there's two sides to that story.
Okay.
Which is one for business and branding, it's fine. That's the space where you should play. But personal life and everything else that happens, it's not a good space. It's made people so detached from reality.
Okay.
People are so, and another thing with social media, it allows people to, those characteristics you're supposed to try and bury to be a good person, to be considered a good person. It's giving you a platform to simply live those out. Like, be that person every day.
And I mean, I get that. I mean, with Twitter, for example, people say things on Twitter that I'm just like, would you actually say that in someone's face?
Exactly.
First of all, never mind that, would you say it at all? Would you say that in someone's face? And because of the nature of being so anonymous, not anonymous as such, because you're just a username, supposedly, you kind of step out of, your own self. Is it self-expression? What is it? Is it a way that you easily express yourself, or is it a matter of just being out of bounds?
Allows you to live out of character.
Out of character.
Safe behind the screen, you can be as tough as you want to be, as mean as you want to be. But knowing that in real life, you wouldn't be that person.
It's mostly for attention seeking, basically.
Yeah.
If
1,000 people or 100 of your friends were here, would you say that to that one friend? No. But
Yeah.
then nobody's in this room, it's you alone, you're gonna say that. Ha 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 ha, Pam.
And like you're saying that, it kind of detaches from reality, because at the end of the day, after you're off your phone and you're out of the house and you're meeting people, what character are you showing?
Somebody
you're now
completely different.
detached from the reality of that, you actually live a real life
Yeah.
outside of that screen. And it's just kind of like a thing where it's like, yeah, it's all good and well to have that safe space.
Yeah.
But to some extent, it's just a little...
I mean, to add on to the point of people using social media for attention, I don't know if you guys have seen You Just Don't Mess With Cats on Netflix. So
I haven't seen it. I don't want to see that. I've heard. I don't want to see it.
it's pretty gruesome, considering the story and stuff. And it's about this guy who started off this page on Facebook, I think, and he killed a cat on camera. But then a lot of people reacted to that. And he thought that, oh, okay, wow, if I keep on doing this, I'll get more attention, So he kept on doing that, and eventually, obviously, he escalated to not just cats, but to actual people. But I believe that's social media. But at the same time, it depends how you use it as an individual. Because if let's say I'm a historian, and I follow historians only on social media, that doesn't mean now I'm going to go out and try to impress. I'm not impressing it. I'm basically using it to learn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sticking basically to what you know, what interests you. Instead of just inviting and adding people who the class was on. The class, a different race, different people who do like the weirder stuff that you wouldn't do.
Yeah.
But once that is introduced to you, now you're going to start taking part in those things. And it just takes you out of character. Once again, goes out of character.
And I mean, another point to just, that I've observed is that people become less sociable. Like, okay, social media is meant to be a sociable platform, but we'd be sitting around with friends and everyone's on their phones.
Yeah.
Are we socializing? Are we enjoying the essence of that moment and that time? Or are we just posting? Okay, I post as well. I mean, sometimes I'm like, okay, guys, wait, don't eat that food. I want to take a picture of it. But that's fine. You're capturing the moment and you're just making social media work for you as well. But then to a point where there's no conversation and we're just on our phones, and all it's about is just the fact that we're here. We don't even feel or enjoy the essence of being here. It's just we did it, we ticked that box, and we are somehow at a better state, a better status.
Yeah, it's like what you just said right now. Let social media work for you.
Yeah.
It needs to work for you. Don't let this thing use you. Right now, people create their own characters on social media. Their person will be somebody completely different, like you said. They'll create this whole ideal personality on social media. When you meet a person in real life, they are the shyest, most intro. It's like an introvert. Getting an introverted person doesn't like people, but on social media, you're the loudest. It allows you that. That's why I'm saying there's two ways about it. And some will just be like, you know what, it's like the coolest thing ever. You get to be free, you get to be yourself, but are you really being yourself?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, when social media was introduced to us, it was mixed.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is that in as much as you would be on Mixit the whole night while you're at home or whatever the case may be, but when you come back to school, the conversation continues. It's not like it ended there and that's a different world and it's sort of detached to the reality of whatever your conversations may be about with your friends.
Well, sorry to cut you off there, but during our times, I don't think Mixit was out, but it was more of blogs that we had. And those were a bit toxic, if you guys remember.
Bullies would go out and spread rumors about people.
Yeah, because like they'd be centered around like certain high schools. Every high school would have its own one, And
then there'd be a main one where literally you'll find like 7 high schools can actually access that one. And somebody will spread a rumor on that post and then literally 7 high schools know about that. Imagine how many friends you have in different high schools and everybody's reading that.
Well, personally, I'm foreign to that because I've always been very sort of traditional in that I was the last to hop onto everything. So I can't relate that experience. Yeah. But it's all to say, in any era, there's going to be a good thing and a bad thing about how things were done. Yeah. But there are some nice parts of just, living the reality rather than just isolating the reality from social media. Just, try and be free and be yourself consistently outside and on social media. I think that's the point we're trying to make out here. And of course, PlayStations. I was surprised the other day when I figured out that PlayStations nowadays are solo. Most games are like solo games. Whereas before, when I played the PlayStation at the age of maybe 9, 10 or 8, I was to play with my brother and, we'd play games together and it was basically sociable still. But now people sit alone in their, can you tell me more about that? Sit alone in their homes and play with, their friends online who are not here. You can't have 2-player games that are as interesting and intriguing. What's that about?
The best person though is him. He knows his brother is so.
Mr. Him out here. Mr. Him. School us.
I'm a gamer. I wouldn't say I'm a heavy gamer like that. However, I've noticed that the other day I wanted to buy Need for Speed, because that's one of the few games we used to play with friends. It's competitive. It's. I mean, boys love cars.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me get Need for Speed, but before I buy games, I always check how many people can play this game. Need for Speed was 1 player. It's usually 2 players. It's usually split screen. And if you remember, our TVs were so small back in the day. They were so small, and they would split the screen regardless. And you'd play the game with your mates and you'd enjoy it. But now we've got these 60-inch TV screens, and Need for Speed is not split screen. However, the only way you can play with your mates is if they also have the game at home. So now you guys are playing online.
So you can't sit together and, sorry?
No. We're basically in isolation, but we're communicating, via the phone.
It was basically more expensive, less sociable.
Yeah, that's how you got to look at it. The game developers, they're trying to make more money because now, obviously, they're getting more sales, they're selling more games, So.
And I mean, I know I heard a phenomenon in the news about people that were killing themselves after playing a certain game, or was that a thing?
There's quite a few of those games, actually, which they make these kids go crazy. I mean, there are some kids who spend crazy amounts of money on outfits and the guns and all this stuff.
So guns and outfits of the characters?
Yeah, for characters, not for yourselves. You buy clothes for your character off your mom's credit card. And buy all these guns and invest in that character, and then something happens to that character to the point that you feel like you've lost everything. Are you kidding me? Your character lost everything, not you, but because you've invested so much time in developing that character and all the levels and all the money you spent, money you stole probably, and now that character's all gone. So these kids lose their minds and go through the most craziest things and do stupid stuff like kill themselves. Like